Um, yeah.
Oh, that's his puppet, but thank you.
Thank you.
Lo con tiempo es que I was like, we were gonna wave at
No way.
it. Hola mi gente! We're back again on another episode of
Raices NYC. And on this episode, we have.
Hi, America Rios Bravo. I'm a New York-based fashion designer. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Miss Fashion Designer. Yeah. What got you into clothing? What got you into designing? Yeah. How did you start? What age did you know? Oh. I'm very intrigued. As another fashion designer to another fashion. Yeah. So I think when I first started, it would be like around 10 years old. I didn't know it then, but I was applying for middle schools, and originally I wanted to do art, and unfortunately I didn't get into the middle school that I wanted to get into. It was an art middle school, and I got rejected. So
Okay.
I was like, okay, let me shift my focus to fashion design. And I think from like 10 years old to 13, I just started like sketching and exploring what I want to do. I didn't know I wanted to do fashion design, but I guess like as a kid, your interests just like end up something that grows as you explore and grow up. And then it was when I was applying for high school, that's when it really started to grow even more. I went to the High School of Fashion Industries in Chelsea, Manhattan, and from there on, I learned about illustration, sewing, construction, draping. And then I was very involved in extracurricular activities in the arts. And yeah, that's kind of like my journey academically, but in my family we're very artistic. My sister, she's an artist, she's a painter.
Okay.
And my brother, he does music, but he also draws as well. And
Wow.
you know, I was telling Ari earlier, like, my parents, when they came here to New York City, they worked in the garment district, and they know about cutting fabrics, and my mom's sewing and everything. And as a girl, like, you're very exposed to like dolls and like the clothing and stuff, and using what you have. And you know, I remember that was like a lot of what I was doing as a kid, ripping up my clothes that I don't use anymore.
Yeah.
And making clothes for my dolls with my mom. So
Okay.
hmm
Wow. So
Yeah.
like as a kid, you was already doing all of this.
Yeah, I didn't know
Very
it
young.
then, but yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. You already knew what you wanted to get into when you were just starting.
hmm
It's very unique. 'Cause, you know, for me, when I got into fashion, it was like way, way later on. Like I really didn't know this is what I wanted to do. This is what I really cared about.
Yeah.
I think I was like 21.
Stupid. What's 9 plus 10?
Yeah.
21? You
So I was
stupid.
21. So I was like, I started a later time. But
Yeah.
it's really cool that you already knew. I mean, you had a lot of practice too. Okay, so you went to FIT.
No.
No, you didn't. So where
I
you go?
did get into FIT,
You say
but
you
I actually got
No,
into
you went to
Parsons School of
Parsons
Design.
School.
Yeah.
Like my brain is
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm gonna
It's
close that
okay
door.
though.
It's like, yeah. Okay, you went to Pierce.
So she went to Parsons.
You went to Parsons. How was that experience?
Yeah, I
Going
went
away from
to
college.
Parsons School of Design.
Yeah.
I got my bachelor's of fine arts in fashion design, and you know, that experience, I got into school when COVID was around, so that within itself was like a whole experience. You know, I don't think anyone or any institution around that time knew how to handle a pandemic while trying to educate your students. But I feel like overall it had its challenges, like any institution around that time, but it connected me with so many people, and to this day I feel like that school really helped me put myself out there.
So you create your own clothing. You have a lookbook that you showed us. What inspired you to do all of that?
First of all, everything like the 5 looks, the lookbook, the business cards and all that, it's a requirement they push the students to do. And you said like
What inspired you
what
to?
inspired me to do my thesis work
Yeah.
when I was in school, like my culture, you know, like being Mexican American, and then also like my family. And my grandma, she does a lot of like servilletas and embroidery.
Embroidery.
And,
Yes.
and I feel like Mexico and a lot of our people have so many talents. Like my grandma does embroidery, my grandpa on my mom's side did like weaving of the bags.
What part of
And
Mexico are you from, if I may ask?
my mom is from Jalisco de las Flores, and
Okay.
then my dad is from Buenavista de Benito Juarez.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like close to like Chietla, Isucut, Matamoros. Like it's like a bus ride or whatever.
Mhm.
But like I was saying, like I feel like a lot of our peoples have different talents and their way of making art and making that as a form of living. You know, I took inspiration from those industries in Mexico, and I brought that into my own way during thesis. I didn't want to copy it exactly, just sort of have my own spin to it. Yeah.
I think your pieces are they're just you, right?
Mhm.
Because one, they're taking the embroidery patterns from the culture, from your grandparents, from the culture that you grew up in. And then some of the pieces are very structured. And I feel like that is just like such a New York look where we have like New York fashion is very structured. There's straight lines in a lot of our clothing. So I think it just fuses those two looks together.
Yeah,
Right?
I think you brought up a good point about it being like very New York.
Yeah.
You know, throughout the collection, I also paid tribute to like LA. Like LA has a huge influence in fashion, right? Especially streetwear. I also wanted to speak about like what is New York, what are East Coast Mexican Americans are doing. I took inspiration from workwear. A lot of it was looking at my family pictures and looking at like what my dad was wearing, the heavy twill fabrics and the plaid shirts. Even looking at how they used what they had in their closets and how they kind of dressed themselves up for like the bailes. I was looking at like pictures of when my mom and dad used to go dancing, cumbia sonideras. Just taking small inspirations from those pictures and even like my grandma, all those things influenced my collection or my art in general.
Well, yeah. So I told you earlier, and I always tell everybody, I always say you are living your ancestors' wildest dreams, right? Because you mentioned that your father used to work in textile, cutting fabric, your mother knows how to sew, and your grandmother knows how to do servilletas, embroidery. And we don't know necessarily what their dreams might have been. Maybe your mom actually wanted to do fashion. Grandmother also maybe wanted to go into fashion or didn't know what it was. And so now you are living their wildest dreams where they never thought, oh wow, like my granddaughter is going to have a collection set in New York and she is going to showcase in New York. So from like a little town in Atlisco, now you're going to New York, right? So it's like I always say you are living your ancestors' wildest dreams in a way.
Yeah, I mean, like when you put it like that, it sounds like wow. You put it like that, it just kind of like it kind of like brightens up like my heart because it makes me feel good. Because sometimes if I think as a creative, like I don't know if you guys feel that sometimes, but it's like maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I'm not putting myself out there enough.
It's a doubt that comes
yeah,
in.
and it's also like that feeling like oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing. But it's also like oh, I'm the first one in my family. Like I'm the oldest and I'm first gen, so I'm the first in my family to graduate from college and graduate high school.
Congrats. That's a big step too.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people in our community also go through that, you know. So in a sense, you're learning everything as you go, and when you put it like that, it's like I've come a long way. My ancestors worked towards so we can be in this position right now. So yeah, thank you.
No problem. I think sometimes we get so caught up in our heads. We're so caught up in the day to day, the hustle, where it's like you kind of sit back and you have to appreciate all the work that you've done. Even you, little you in middle school, wanting to go into fashion school, you wanted that, and you got it. It wasn't meant to be in middle school, but you got it in college. Right?
Yeah.
So you paved that way for yourself. And congrats to you for making those like small little steps, but created huge changes.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, like you really didn't. You made it possible. You know.
Still work in
Sometimes,
progress.
yeah.
And catch America in our fashion show September 28th. Nuestro viaje.
Nuestro viaje.
How do you feel? How do you feel about it? You know, how was like when you gave you that text like, hey, do you want to be part?
Oh, I was like, wow, they remembered me.
No, you really gave a great impact. Again, the designs, so what we saw Chorizo wear.
Yeah.
I was like, shout out to Chorizo, love you, baby girl.
Yeah.
You're the best. I was like amazed. It stayed stuck in my head. I was like, wow. So again, like the clothing that you made, it leaves a mark.
Thank you.
I think sometimes don't really notice it where you might have not talked a lot, you might have not mentioned or had a whole full conversation with somebody, but sometimes your work speaks for itself.
Yeah, background information. We met at a party and like that's.
Oh yeah, we met at a party already.
Yeah, our mutual of ours, Jerry, he asked me if I could dress him up or like let him borrow some pieces for the show because he was playing that day, and Jerry introduced me to Ari and Julio. So
I'm Julio, that's Ari.
So yeah.
Beans rice. Shout out, baby girl. I think you're making this happen. Yeah. Yeah.
No, but yeah, I felt great. First event, we're collaborating with people from my community and even like here from New York. I feel like a lot of New York City artists need to be empowered, us natives, and you guys are building that space. I feel like I've definitely been to events, and I definitely feel like there is a community here, at least here in Sunset Park.
I kind of spoke about that with Julio because I also grew up in Sunset Park,
Mhm.
Bay Ridge, Church Ave, Flatbush. I was
Yeah.
kind of like a little over, but I've always known that Sunset Park, you know, that's where my Mexican community is at. Growing up, middle school, high school, I've always had like my other Mexican friends,
Mhm.
Latinos, Hispanos. I've always had that community, but I think outside of this, outside of Sunset Park, a lot of people don't have that. Say like they go to Soho, right? Or like they're
Yeah.
stuck in like the city, you know, they don't have that community like we do it here.
Yeah.
So I think Julio comes from a different world, comes from Washington Heights where it's like there's not
Oh,
that
you do?
many.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, over there we don't have. I didn't have what you have here.
Yeah, you know, he didn't have no panaderia, like there was no
Really?
pan.
Yeah, we still don't got no panaderia. Like, you have
Really?
fresh bread. You get it like anywhere. You have options.
Nieve. Well,
Yeah.
now y'all have recently.
Yeah, now we have Nieves, but we don't have no paleteria, no nothing.
Wow.
Now we have La Paleteria Michoacana, Golosinas Anitas. Like, yo, we have like now that, but we
Mhm.
missing that panaderia. But to me, I didn't know there was like fresh bread only in Mexico. I didn't know around here where I'm from
Yeah,
was in
yeah.
touch with our community, like the Mexican culture.
Mhm.
So I started noticing more and more how everyone did grow up differently, depending on where they,
Yeah.
what borough they're from.
Yeah. But I definitely think with like the use of social media, like I feel like that helps a lot.
No, yeah, that's
Like-
social media definitely helped us create a voice and see that we're
Yeah.
here and there's more of us.
Yeah, and even like the art events, like sometimes I know Sunset hosts a lot of art walks and things like that. And even like dances, like Las Cumbias Unideras. Sometimes you go and like you run into someone that you haven't seen in like a couple of weeks or months, you know.
When you hear somebody else's perspective, it definitely makes you appreciate Little Sunset Park over here. You know, the
Yeah.
community that we have here is very special.
Mhm.
Not everybody has that, but again, social media has definitely helped, and I
Yeah.
think we're all gathering together a lot more.
Yeah.
We're finding each other.
Yeah, and we're pretty much at like the beginning of it, I think, right? Like I feel like
Oh
there's so
yeah,
much
we're
to
just like,
do.
you know, in the books, in the
Yeah.
history,
Yeah,
we're just now
yeah.
like showing up.
If you think about it too, like, at least in the East Coast, migration has happened fairly recently. It's only been a
Mhm.
few years. You
Like
know?
everything was the influencers here in the East Side. You always hear them in the
Yeah.
West Side over there,
Yeah.
but not here. Now, there's more like, you know, Chicano influencers here.
Yeah.
You start seeing everyone pop up. We're gonna have our own veggie. We're gonna have our own Shadi Bay.
Our own
Shadi Bay is
what?
called our, oh, you don't be on TikTok.
Our own Shoddy Bay.
No, yes. No, it's not. I've
Shadi
been
Bay.
hearing
Oh
it.
yeah, like our own
that's
Shadi Bay, like, you know, our own. But now it's like it's gonna happen here. Like, you know, we're
Yeah.
showing our voices also. We're just starting.
Yeah.
Like everything's just starting now.
Yeah.
Congrats to you too, though, because you are going into, I would say, very white spaces, right? With fashion, like,
Yeah.
you know, New York Fashion Week, all of that. Sometimes it can be very, very whitewashed, and so you don't see a lot of culture. You don't see a lot of minorities in it, and even maybe you just had that one collection, right? But that was sort of a way of paving a way for yourself, paving the way for others, so that others can come in and create more looks. So not a lot of people can actually do that, and I think you've definitely left a mark in
No,
the fashion
thank
world
you.
with your pieces.
Hmm.
So we're almost basically at the end of the year. What would you say is your goal for end of the year or 2026?
I feel like I'm getting a head start. One of the goals I had for the following year is to be more involved within my community and put myself out there. You know, this year it has been a lot of like figuring out like where I want to be in the industry, seeing what I want, what I don't want, what I like. Just wanting to be more involved in designing more,
Yeah.
doing more materiality. My BFA, my concentration was materiality, so textiles. So just like figuring out new ways to create fabrics and bringing in my culture, you know,
Yeah.
or at least my ancestral.
Do you have a
Yeah.
designer by any chance that you look up to, or you like how they do their things?
The work of Willie Chaveria. I know with what's going on right now.
Definitely. All right.
Yeah.
Look, I wrote a whole paper on Willie Chaveria. Like, he's one of the ones that inspired me into getting more into fashion. Just
Yeah.
hearing about him breaking that barrier
Yeah.
into like getting recognized. Now, not saying that there's other designers, which there are, the more you research. But now, as they progress, you start seeing now scandals. You start seeing this. How do you feel about that?
We were talking that day, like when we first started talking about doing this, if like I'm branded or anything, right? And as of right now, I'm not. And well, maybe I'm not there yet to be branded, but maybe I want to be known as an artist, just someone who creates and sells my pieces. Because I feel like as a brand, sometimes you start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? You have to think about how to pay off everything that you're doing. I'm assuming that once you start becoming like more corporate, you have to pay attention to people's salaries, and you kind of lose touch with like the creativity side to it, because companies get so big, they lose sight of where everything is. But I do understand the implications that comes with corporations, especially because with the whole Adidas thing, like it wasn't just him. I'm not sure what happened there, but I feel like as a community, we're like, it raises questions.
You also your story about like the working class, the inspiration from that too. It reminded him from one of his lines that he talks about. That he created some of the designs too, inspired from the working class, inspired how his parents used to work too.
Yeah.
I guess we get a lot of inspiration too about how we see our community.
Yeah,
Would you say you're very observant, and that's what gives an idea of what you want to do next?
Yeah, it gives me an idea of what I want to do next, but it's also what's going on currently. I feel like our communities are going through a lot right now. I mean, like today, like there was like literally on Instagram, like ISIS in Sunset Park, like I was just like freaking out because I was like, we literally have friends and family here. So it's also that, like, how do you stay creative while like everything else is going on in the world? I also just think that being creative is like a form of resistance, right? Like, I'm here, I exist, and my people belong here, and that's what I'm looking forward to with my work. I get it, there's like a lot of stereotypes about us, but my art means that I'm existing, and my people deserve to exist. And that within itself is resistance.
That's beautiful. No, that's really beautiful.
Yeah,
because your whole existence is resisting. Damn, that's a lot. That hit.
Yeah. I mean, don't you guys agree? Like, even like the events that you create and the spaces that you take place in, like, they're meant to build community. And I feel like with what's going on, like, they want to scare us,
No, yeah, definitely. That's why, we do these events also to create a safe space, to just like not to think so much of what's happening. Like, we all know it is, it's in the back of our heads, like we worry about it, but with our events, we hope like that calms it down, and just they could just also realize that we're here.
I think it's also showcasing the community in a positive way, right? Because you can see a lot of negativity. We are showcasing artists, we are showcasing photographers, a lot of people with talent who are minorities, showcasing their work in a beautiful way, in a positive way, where the whole community can come and support them, appreciate them for what they are, and again, appreciate them just for their own existence. Everybody could just gather together in a positive way, and that's what we try to create with our events. And for our fashion show, it's gonna be fun. And again, we are doing it in a tortilleria. It's a mom and pop shop. People have been telling us how they knew this place when they just started as like a little small stand. So sometimes it just takes that small little step, and then next thing we'll know, we'll see America in all the shops.
I don't know. I don't know either.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
Now we're gonna go into one of our last segments, scary, spooky story time. Do you have a scary story that you would like to share?
Like Llorona got you, the duende, a little puppet. Like, I don't know.
Not really. More of like a life and danger kind of situation.
Oh shit!
Like almost like life threatening. I almost drowned. So like that.
Well, I almost got ran over.
I drowned. You got ran over. Like, it reminds me of our other friend.
Yeah.
What was your story?
By Bush Terminal, how it's like very solitary over there. De pendeja, I was like, let's go on a walk with my friend and my sister. We all went on a walk, and it was getting dark. So over there's not really that much lights. And there was someone being really rude in the car, and he was like, "You fucking Mexican." So he drifts the car, and I'm like, I have a feeling that he's coming too close to us. And my sister and like my sister's friends are like, "Oh, like there's nothing," but I'm like, "No, I feel it. Like I just know that something bad is gonna happen." And the guy gets close, like I don't know if it's called drifting, like he like does like this squealing noise and like kind of like mocking us, like he wanted to hurt us, but he didn't, obviously. And like ni para reportarlo, because I didn't even get the plate number, la placa or whatever. I didn't even see the guy's face that much. So yeah. that was scary. I guess I don't know
Yeah,
if
that
that's
sounds hella
spooky, but
scary.
that was
Yeah,
scary.
yo.
Yeah.
The terminal is super scary too. It's like
Yeah.
abandoned over there.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm
Yeah.
sorry you had to go
Yeah.
through that.
No, yeah. I mean, like it was funny too because I was like, I was telling my brother that at the time he's a lot younger. We're 5 years apart, but at the time he was younger, and thank God, like I didn't take him with me because he's a kid. He was
Oh
a
yeah.
kid.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, what if I took my brother and like, oh my God,
There's a
but
lot of what
no,
ifs.
it's fine. Like I'm here today. Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, yo,
Yeah.
yeah, that's something.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because we're in Sunset, so it's like I don't
Yeah,
even
that
think
was
it, but
such a like.
yeah.
So now venturing to our last segment. What advice would you give to your younger self?
To my younger self.
Yeah, and to the viewers too that wants to do the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah. Maybe being okay with saying no and being okay with things not working out. The industry is very tough and sometimes, especially like when you're taking up internships and you're putting yourself out there, a lot of it is like low paying like sometimes they don't pay at all or it's like low paying jobs, And unfortunately like that's just how the industry works and just like knowing when like your limit is. And sometimes I feel also because as people of color, sometimes we're expected to take whatever comes our way, but it's also like, no, I deserve more. And also like things not working out. There's been like multiple times in my academic career where I made something and I look back and I'm like, why did I do that? Like this is not who I am. And having confidence that like your artistic journey will branch off and you might not like the work then, but you don't have to have it all figured out right now. So that would be my advice to my younger self because I used to compare myself a lot. So mm-hmm.
Thank you with all of your stories and like yeah, it was yeah, it's really neat to hear like it's learn when to say no, learn value yourself and your work, your art.
No,
That's
thank
something that
you.
we definitely need to hear. And also like again, like our culture, like our brown people, sometimes es un trabajo, like una
Yeah.
oportunidad, but we don't see also like te vemos más,
Mm-hmm.
But on that note,
Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.